All right, part two. So we just mixed the colors for green. Let's go ahead and fill in the colors next to the word green with what you use to make those colors. So I'm going to use yellow. And then I'm going to rinse out my brush, dry it off. Make sure whenever you're drying your paintbrush off, you also get the stuff that's like just kind of hanging out on the top of the metal bar of your paintbrush, because sometimes that'll drip down and suddenly your acrylic painting becomes a watercolor painting. It's very frustrating. All right, and then the other box is blue. So these are the colors we used to make green. All right. And I am going to rinse those out. Our last color is, or last secondary color is violet, which is between red and blue. So let's take a glob of red and a glob of blue. Mix those together. Okay. Now we have violet. So I'm going to find violet on my color wheel. Put that down here. And I'm going to fill in my violet spot on the color wheel. And I'm also going to take my violet and paint it over the word violet in the secondary colors area. And of course, next to that, we are going to put the colors that we use to make violet. So red. I have a sneaky little drip of water. Make sure you catch those before it goes down your paintbrush. All right, make sure you rinse out your brush in between colors. And blue. All right. So I'm going to pause this for a second. All right, so we have completed our primary and secondary colors on our color wheel. So we're going to look at tertiary colors next. So what is a tertiary color, children? We just talked about this. Yes, Dylan? One primary color and one secondary. Thank you. One primary plus one secondary. So what would be an example of that? Blue violet, great example. Blue violet, because see, the primary color is blue, secondary color is violet. There's nothing fancy about the name. It's basically hyphenated because two people got married. No one wanted to change the name, so they hyphenated their names. The end. So Mr. Blue marries Mr. Green or Mrs. Green. They make a baby. Baby's name is Blue Green. Not violent. Thank you for making me laugh. Okay. So we're going to take our blue and our green that we have mixed on our palette. So a clump of blue mixed with a clump of green. Mix it together. And you get blue-green. It looks very piney, very pine green. So we're gonna paint the offspring of blue and green in between them. Little family portrait here. Okay. No further explanation needed. We're gonna rinse off our brush. So Mrs. Green's brother, Mr. Green, decides to marry Mrs. Yellow. Yellow green, you guys get this. This is easy. So I'm gonna take a clump of yellow, mix it in with a clump of green, and we get this really putrid looking yellow green, like a lime color. We're gonna put that into yellow green. All right, rinse off the brush. So Mr. Yellow's sister, Mrs. Yellow, decides to marry Mr. Orange. They have a baby. Yellow orange. Yes, so how do you know which color to put first? We always go with the primary color. The primary color gets to go first. So whenever you say one of the tertiary colors, when you put those two colors together, that color becomes the primary plus secondary in that order and stated that way. All right, so I'm going to take yellow and orange, mix those together on my palette. And then I'm going to paint that on the yellow orange, and it makes this beautiful gold color. And again, if you're getting scrapey colors, if you can see the paper through your color, that usually means you're not using enough paint. So the nice thing about these flat brushes is you can turn it sideways to make it really thin, or you can turn it wideways to make it nice and thick so that you can cover larger spaces or shorter, thinner spaces. We're going to use that technique for our next project as well. All right. Red and orange. Equal portions of red and orange mixed together. And you get a fire engine red. We're going to paint that in the red-orange spot. And this video is about to end, so I'm going to let you guys continue to fill out the rest. I think you can figure it out from here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this.